Round 5 gives some great matches and some disappointments, but let's quickly dive into our recap. Coach Moranian and the Clan Mulder team took a leaf out of the Albion Wanderers playbook and decided to apply the exact same tactics against their opponents. The Snake Men from the Sneaky team. Who would have thought that rats would be the best remedy against snakes? I, for one, am surprised. But let's get into the events of the match. From the very start, the Mulder clan and its rat ogres pounced on their opponents and mercilessly beat them. Additionally, the agile reptiles had a tough time running from the rat tails. Snakes may beat their previous opponents, but this time the rats definitely dominated this encounter, but something tells me these teams will clash again in the playoffs. Ah, what a Sunday afternoon it was. Right after the rats and snakes cleared the field, the spectacle Legends of Arizona against Albion Wanderers kicked off. Our ladies seemed convinced it would be as easy as with Silesia Gladiators, especially after the first half when the Knights struggled to get the Amazons off the field, preventing them from scoring during their own attack. But everything suddenly changed thanks to one White Knight. You'd think, with a name like that, he'd be a nobleman treating the ladies delicately. Well, Leonura is hardly the gentleman type. This armored mass of muscles first crushed one defender into the ground, then literally snapped the other woman in half. Yet the Amazons almost managed to score. Almost. But then the ball ended up in the hands of the Albioners, who, despite considerable difficulties, managed to carry it into the scoring zone, setting the score of this thrilling encounter at 1-0 for the Knights. After being humiliated by the Amazons, the Silesia Gladiators decided to take out their frustration on the unsuspecting flesh golems. Despite serious staffing shortages, let's remember that 5 gladiators couldn't play due to injuries. They managed to completely dominate the match by exploiting the total lack of mobility of the Frankenstein's monsters against them. Generally, the gladiators avoided direct confrontation, focusing on surgical strikes aimed at key opponents. The only significant casualties they suffered from the enraged flesh golems were part-time employees hired specifically for this match. Poor souls didn't even have health insurance. The necromancers didn't have much to do this time, just helplessly watching as the opposition landed touchdown after touchdown. They're probably feeling the cold shoulder from the team sponsors who expected much better results from the squad. Sadly, Siege Demons conceded their match agonist Halfling Kitchen team. Good news for the Halflings, bad for us. And let's go to Group B, and we will start from a small controversy. A significant scandal erupted with the Doomblight Detrivores team, as the only player who showed up for the match against the Nolneers was a representative from the Nurgle Demons team, who informed everyone that due to their incurred losses, their team was forced to withdraw from the league to attend to more pressing matters. Well, we wish them good luck in their new endeavors. As for the students, they didn't seem particularly bothered by these revelations. Free points and no need to clash with the Nurgle Rot seemed like good news for them. The Britannian Knights from the Realm Riders team engaged in a grand derby with the Nekrar Vampire Clan for the top spot in the group. Right from the start, it was evident that neither side wanted to back down. However, the Knights managed to gain a slight advantage over the Vampires when Lord Bygos, known for his left hook, took down one of the Vampires. When the referee ended the first half, the score was 1-0 for the Riders. But as the second half began and the darkness set in, the Vampires and their undead minions gained new strength. Britannian peasants in panic started fleeing from the field, and even the valiant knights fell under the mighty vampire attacks. Sir Jean-Claude even briefly kissed the turf, and just as the necromancer was rubbing his hands together, the determined hero of the match emerged, the team doctor of the Realm Riders. After a few moments of reanimation, he managed to get the knight back on his feet. Although, back on his feet might be a bit of a stretch, as it'll take some time for this player to fully recover. After all the turmoil with the mysterious squig illness, which the Nurgle demons apparently had nothing to do with, the goblins from 3 city squigs managed to get their little darlings back in shape. They were preparing for a match against the Dryads from the Timber team, sharpening the squigs' claws and teeth so they could better handle the tough tree folk armor. But all their effort went to waste. Right from the start, it was clear that the long recovery had totally dulled the beasts. Their coach was tearing his hair out in rage as the one of the squigs straight up devour its goblin caretaker and another one literally explode, killing another of his players. The Dryad players looked on with pity, silently tallying up more touchdowns. For the squigs, it's definitely the end of any chance of advancing from the group stage. But thanks to this phenomenal 3-point victory for the Dryads, a tiny seed of hope is sprouting. They must now nurture it through the next 2 matches. The scene straight out of Garden of Nurgle took place during the match between the goblins from the Nightcrawlers against the Winterstorm Maidens. The match took place on the Drakkar pitch of our Northern Maidens. The goblins apparently didn't often have the chance to play on the open sea, leading to a group onslaught of seasickness, for which they were definitely not prepared. And neither were our Valkyries, for that matter. Our Vikings ladies crushed the goblins on the pitch, leaving them no space for even the smallest outplay. The only thing that brought joy to our little mischievous troublemakers during the match was the hasty departure from the stadium right after the game, accompanied by malicious laughter. I'm not sure if the score of 3, 0 in favor of the Winterstorm Maidens, compensated for the need to clean the deck from blood, vomit, and a few stray pieces of their opponents' bodies left behind. And that wraps up all the news we have for today. Or perhaps one more. As we're getting closer and closer to the end of Season 5, Season 6 will soon be announced. As always, we're searching for brave coaches from around the world who want to participate. More information is available on the FunBL website or on our Discord channel. Stay tuned for upcoming news. Goodbye!